Hello. Wow. We've got some unfinished questions, actually. I saw you back in, talked to you in San Antonio last year and discussed my epiphany that I had had and used sandcastles as an example. I don't know if you remember that conversation, but we
spend no time remembering any of that. We're only looking into the real-time present tense. Okay. Nothing else is relevant.
Well, you answered my question on the physical side, but my question was more about the source energy side of things. So I kind of wrote myself
The reason we're playing with you just a little bit is you said, I have some unfinished business. We wanted to impertinently say, yes, and you always will.
Right, absolutely.
Because we could not possibly answer a question that wouldn't give birth to another.
Oh, yes.
It's just the way that it goes. So lay it on.
Okay. If you don't mind, it'd be much easier if I just kind of read this real quick here. Is it okay? All right. From a non-physical perspective.
You don't mind if we interrupt constantly?
Please do. Please do. Okay. As I had said, we had gone the physical way, but from a non-physical perspective, think of ourselves as the grains of sand on a beach.
Why?
Why? Because that's what I'm going to get to here in just a moment. But anyway, because I appreciated your answer you gave me on the physical side. However, what I want to do is take this and go to the non-physical of, okay, think of ourselves as sand on the beach, right? But in the non-physical, in the source energy part of us, all right? The source energy part of us. You follow me so far, right? All right.
We do, because we are the source energy part of you.
Exactly.
We've got that one down.
Exactly. And that is, and we are experiencing what we call reality in our physical forms, but we are fed by our non-physical selves. Abraham, being a non-physical entity, resides in that source energy, right? Okay. So we are, my question was, when I used sandcastles as an analogy, was we are all a part of source energy. We are all a part of the grains of sand on a beach. However, we have carved out for ourselves within that beach, pulled together enough grains of sand to build our sandcastle, which makes up our individual reality of source feeding this physical presence. You following what I'm saying so far?
We're working very hard to follow your flawed premise.
And that's my question is that in this physical reality, we have the ability to vibrationally create our physical reality with the energy that makes us up as a sandcastle. All right, on the beach. All right, we are not separate from the beach. We are an individual sandcastle on the beach, but we are still a part of the beach. What I'm trying to get at is my question is, eventually here, is when you talk about us all co-creating and our vibrations, wow, this is really difficult to try to phrase here. From an energetic level, we are starting that process by our thoughts. Our thoughts become things. And really where a lot of this started coming from was from your teachings and then reading a lot of Napoleon Hill and that kind of thing. And it's just, it's really kind of getting me kind of confused. And my whole question is trying to understand from an energetic level. I understand the physical thing is just an experience, but from an energetic level, getting in touch with those vibrations. That's my question.
Follow through this process for just a little bit, because we appreciate what you're reaching for. We understand what you're reaching for too, and we appreciate how much thought you've given it. But now we want you to not think of any of the thought that you've given it, and just listen to what we're saying here, because you poked around at it enough that we have a really good sense of what you're reaching for, and we think there's an easier way to get there than the path that you're laying out.
Probably so.
But we're going to play with your sandcastle analogy just because you've worked so hard on it, and because it's a good one. So let's say that you're non-physical energy, and you've decided that you're going to come forth into the physical, and let's say that from that perspective that, and in the trying to make it small enough and simple enough and definable that you are from non-physical thinking of earth as being a little plot of beach and some sand, and you're going to go forth and you're going to make a sandcastle. So you're born into your physical body, and you explore the beach, and you explore the sand, and you cobble together a rather nice sandcastle. Now, what we want you to understand is that let's say that represents your world for now. And so it matters to you how it looks and how it be, and you want it big enough that you can live in it, and so you are. And so you put together but here's the thing that we want to help you to expand into another awareness. The whole time that you're building this physical sandcastle, you are building a new and improved sandcastle in your vortex. So the source energy part of you is expanding, and anyway, the whole thing is vibrational, and you're only really playing with the sand here in the physical form, but you've put something as meaningful as this expanding physical reality into your vortex, and the larger part of you now is exploring and living in the details of this new and expanded vibrational sandcastle. Now, because inner being and source energy is inside this vortex in what seemed like where you were before you got here, but it's not where you were before you got here. It's expanded because you've been here. Now there's an expansive sand castle and all of the things that go with it inside this vortex. And source is focused upon and receiving satisfaction from the details that you've put there. The difference is that now the sand castle, the source is living in as a result of what you've been living, is hugely better than the sandcastle that you're living in, because you've contributed so many new ideas to it. And now source is living that, holding the vision of it, knowing what it is and calling you to it. And now your joy is not dependent upon looking at your fashioned sandcastle. Your joy is about your resonance with this one that's in the making. It's the one that's in the making that's giving you your, and so now source is over there in the new and improved version of that which you are, living it, knowing it, being it, offering the signal of it, and you're beginning to feel the inspiration of it, and you're getting called into the vortex, and now you're in the vortex, but you're in your physical body, and you're now a cooperative component, and now you're beginning to feel the resonance of ideas, and now the ways to make your sandcastle new and improved are occurring to you because it's already happened in vibrational form. The source energy part of you is already living it, you see. And so then off you, and then on and on and on it goes. There is no distinction worth making between the physical you in physical form and the non-physical you, because, hear this, we've never said this before, the non-physical you has the ability from inside the vortex to envision and imagine the vibration of what you've put there into such perfection and creation that it is manifest as far as the non-physical part of you is concerned. In other words, when you dream at night, isn't it real? Isn't it real? It's a reality. And what's going on in this vortex is the new and improved version of that which you are. And the thing that we want to say to you that is more meaningful than everything that any of us has said here in this conversation is that as you spend more and more time tending to the vibrational nature of your being so that you are inside the vortex. There is no separation between the physical world that you are living and all of the knowledge that has been amassed in this non-physical place. That's bringing it all here. In other words, we want to say to you, we're all living in the new and improved version of the sandcastle, except you, to the degree that you don't keep up to speed with it, you see. Helpful at all?
Yes, absolutely. That took it into the direction of what I was trying to say. So in other words,
physical
not
humans are
focusing
so
on the
accustomed to thinking about being non-physical and physical, alive and dead, dead and alive, and what you were attempting to do in your question is understand how it all fits together. And we want you to understand that it only fits together when you're in the vortex. That's the only time it all fits together, because if you're not in the vortex, you can't know what Source knows. You can't have the perspective even of your physical life that Source holds. And Source, this is another really important thing to understand. Source is as vividly focused here with you right now as Source is non-physically focused. In other words, Source isn't sitting someplace dangling feet over clouds wondering how you're doing and hoping it's going good. Source is involved. Source is involved all day, every day with what you are about, you see. And to the degree that you allow it, then you're loving your life in the way that Source is loving your life, you see. Really good. Good time for a segment of refreshment.